you guys. It's been a few days and I'm back with another podcast from I Am Men. Today, I Am Men presents tongue. Now, as I began to dive deeper into the word tongue, the revelations were not coming to me as fast, or everything weren't joined together. But nonetheless, I'm still going to present this anyway, because maybe it's not meant for me at this time, but maybe someone who's hearing it will actually gain clarity and understanding by hearing it today. So let's jump right on in. And today I'm giving you scenery of it while it's snowing. It's actually beautiful out right now. Okay. So we're going to start with the first verse that the word tongue was used in. And that verse is Genesis 10:5. And it says, "By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided into their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families and their nations." Okay. So in this particular scripture, the tongue is referring to after the language, after their families. Okay. So now we're going to look that up in the Strong's Concordance, and that number is, tongue is the number H3956, and it's called Lashon. Okay, and it's a masculine noun. The tongue of man or animals, instrument of licking, eating, or speech, figuratively, speech, an ignat, a fork of flame, a cove of water, a babbler, the bay, evil speaker, language, talker, tongue, and wedge. So as you can see right there, there's a couple of words that kind of jumped out at me when I read that. And that was the word bay, and that was wedge. Okay, even though we kind of know that the tongue does cause a wedge, but let's keep going. And then it had bay of sea in parentheses, tongue of fire, tongue shaped. Okay, so tongue is in the Bible 98 times, and it's used as language 10 times, bay 3 times, babbler, flame, and speaker. Now, when you look up these words, these will actually be the words. So I don't want you guys to think that that tongue will actually be in place of the word language, right? Now, tongue in the Genesis was actually after their language, but when I went to go look this up, it usually was the word that it wanted there was put there, okay? As far as I see. Now, I looked up a couple of words and that it described up there, or had in the definition, and the first word is bay, B-A-Y. And it is a recessed coastal body of water that directly connects to a larger main body of water, such as an ocean, a lake, or another bay. Okay, so that made sense. Okay, and the reason that it's connected to tongue is because of how it's shaped, I believe. So the next word is ingot, a block of steel, gold, silver, or other metal, typically oblong shaped. Okay, so that might be another how it's shaped type of definition. So then we have another word, wedge, that I wanted to look up, and that was a piece of wood, metal, or some other material having one thick end and tapering to a thin edge that's driven between two objects or parts of an object to secure or separate them. So the tongue can be used to secure your position or separate you from your position. Okay? And forced into a narrow space. Okay? Now, there was also a feminine form of the word, which was Lashin or Lashan, and that is a verb, and the definition of that word is slander and accuse. So I didn't really go in too deep on this subject, so today this will be very quick, very short. Hope you get something out of it. So as always, we're going to look up the Hebrew definition of the word Lashan or tongue in the Hebrew. So the main letters of the word Lashan was Lamed, Shin, and Nun. So Lamed we learned last week in our Dreams podcast. If you haven't heard it, go check out both parts. The Lamed is a staff cattle goad to control, prod, urge forward, go forward, go toward, go forward, teach, learn, and the word tongue was in there. That's what made me actually look up tongue this week. And as you know, all these meanings of this word is actually a direct reflection of what the word tongue actually means. So your tongue can be like, you can urge forward with things that you say. You can go toward, you can go forward with the things that you're saying, that you're using your tongue for. You can use it to teach, you can use it to learn, okay? Plus we know as in tongue you can learn language, okay? So let's see, and the number for Lamed is 30. So let's see how the word Shin, or the letter Shin, ties into tongue. So right off the back we have the word teeth, ivory, point of a rock, a peak, to devour. The tongue can devour. The tongue can consume. The tongue can destroy. The tongue is something sharp. And it also had El Shaddai. And some people believe that this is actually a name for the Most High, but I don't want to be cut and dry with that right now, but I believe that word is I don't want to say only, but that word is Almighty, which is definitely not a name of the Most High. I do not believe that the Most High has many names. Okay, he has one name, and the rest can be titles attributed to the Most High. Like, you can call me dark, you can call me pretty, you can call me beautiful. Those are not my names, those are adjectives. So El Shaddai, or Almighty, would be an adjective of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? Him being glorious would be an adjective. Him being beautiful, merciful, and all of those things, those are adjectives. Those are not, in fact, names. Okay? So let's go to, and the number for that is 330. So now for number total, we're at 360. Okay? Full circle at 360. But we have one more letter, and that is Nun. And Nun is a fish. Okay, what can the tongue do with fish? Only eat, okay? To sprout. So the tongue can sprout. Or you know what? The tongue can actually fish too. You can fish in a negative and a positive way with your tongue. Like a gang member would fish for new recruits with his tongue, right? And a positive person will bring in, like everyone says, like-minded people hang around like-minded people, maybe because their tongues fish each other out. So then maybe that's a way of looking at it. To sprout. Okay, so to sprout is, if a flower is just sprouting, is just growing. So maybe it's saying that you can grow new seeds with your tongue, right? You can plant new seeds. So if you were a gang member, say yesterday, if you start speaking like, maybe eventually you'll become like. Maybe that's what it's trying to show us and point out to us right there. To spread, offspring, to spread, that wasn't together, just to spread. So your tongue can spread. It can spread deceit, it can spread light, it can spread rumors, it can spread life, right? What they always say, it's power in that tongue. It's power in your tongue. Okay? And then it has offspring, which I wouldn't be sure of how, the tongue relates to that, or descendant. Action, we do know the tongue can cause action. Okay. Life, yep, so there's life right there. I didn't want to get ahead of myself, but there's the word life. And after you begin to look through some of these Hebrew words, you'll start to see a pattern. Like some words, you can say house and you will automatically know, oh, home, this certain letter will be in there, this certain letter will be in there, because you can see like the 3D definition instead of the one-dimensional definition that we have with the English language. The Hebrew language is like fuller. It's the best way that I can describe it right now. It's definitely layered, and there's a lot more to it than what we have in just the English language. Look at all this that we got, all this understanding that we got for this one word, tongue. Over here, speaking the English, the only thing that we too much get is the language. You know that it's a language. You know that it's an instrument of eating and licking. Okay. And pretty much that's it. Pretty much that's it. It doesn't get that deep because it's really not that deep. And we'll talk about that in further podcasts to come of the reason that things are like that. And I'll be pointing out some words where you can see that English words have been put in place for a reason. Okay? And there's darkness behind that. Okay? And heir to the throne. Your tongue can make you an heir to the throne. Now we know that you're going to have self-discipline when it comes to your tongue and becoming an heir with the Most High. Okay? We do know that. And faithfulness. Your tongue brings faithfulness. So when you're not slandering anybody, when you're not talking about anybody behind their back, no matter what you thought, keep your thoughts to yourself. Everything does not have to be said. Everything that comes to your mind does not have to flow out. And one of the things that I hate is, you know what? I'm just going to make a different podcast about it. But the word is, I keep it real, or I'm the truth. Okay? I'm just keeping it real. Okay? We're gonna get into some of this stuff and disseminate some of the stuff or some of the phrases, proverbs that we go around saying, and we use so much things loosely. It's like we really don't have a clear understanding of what it is that we're saying a lot of the time. But your tongue brings faithfulness. Okay? If you're obedient, you can learn to be faithful through your tongue. And again, that is the Lamed, the Shin, the Noon. Not too many revelations here that I didn't know. But I did learn about Bay, I did learn about Ingat, and I did learn Wedge, even though I knew that, but I didn't know that it actually had the word there for it. And remember, the tongue can be a fork of flame a cove of water. It can be an evil speaker. Okay? So it's power in that tongue. That tongue, you have to control your tongue. This is an area where we have to gain discipline in. Okay? And sometimes I've been noticing that it goes even further than just speaking what we call curse words. Right? It'll go a little bit further than that. It absolutely does. So I'm looking at my notes right now, trying to see if I missed anything for the word tongue. And for right now, that is it, you guys. That was a short one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, visit us on YouTube, become a patron on Patreon, send a donation through Cash App, and that is $JasmineLatishea. What else? Make sure you download on your favorite streaming device, which is Overcast, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, and Anchor. Okay. So you guys have a Barack's day. Thank you for listening. And welcome back to I Am In.
Mm-hmm.